Hey guys, it's Roscoe. So, what is Star Wars? Star Wars is about hope, and it always has been. It's about hope in the face of overwhelming odds, hope in the face of brutal, mindless evil, even just hope in the face of the mind-numbing drudgery of everyday existence, you know? It is the Millennium Falcon flying through a swarm of TIE fighters, you know? X-Wings making a trench run. Lightsabers, droids, and the Force. That is Star Wars. Specific characters can be fitted in later, but that is the overall frame of Star Wars. And it's always succeeded best, you know, when it's had heart and soul. This is what the original trilogy was so good at. You felt like it was real because it was real, you know. You could see those droids and they were walking and moving and talking, so they had to be real. Yes, that's also where the prequels fell down. Star Wars, it's got heart, as I say. The prequels, they were just very cold and impersonal. It had the look of Star Wars, it didn't have the feel. But having said that, you know, I mean, both trilogies have given us so much in the way of legacy. Star Wars, first trilogy, obviously practical effects. Second trilogy, the rise of CGI, which I know many people have a problem with in those specific films, but for the industry that has been a huge technological achievement, and we see that sort of thing in films all the time now. But again, a film, if it doesn't have heart, you know, it's very difficult to be loved. And this is why a lot of people don't love the prequels the way they love the original trilogy. It doesn't have the same iconic characters. It didn't have the Millennium Falcon, apart from, I think, in one little Easter egg scene in one of the films. It didn't have great chemistry between its main characters, Padme and Anakin. Stilted dialogue, of course. I mean, the dialogue in the original Star Wars films is not exactly Shakespeare, but the way it's written, you know, you go along with it. It's like J.J. Abrams talking to just, I think it was YouTube, and he was talking to guests with various members of the cast, just about when he was meeting with Larry Kasdan and what the expectations of the film were, and it's like, the movie's gotta be delightful. It's just gotta be great. Not a lot of talk. You don't need talk. The audience just has to trust it. And it's completely true. And that is the approach they've taken with The Force Awakens. They've gone right back to the original trilogy, skipped over the prequels, which had no heart. Yes, the prequels, they gave us some fantastic things like Duel of the Fates, Darth Maul, anger leads to hate, hate leads to fear, and all that sort of thing. And yes, some incredible vistas, amazing locations like Naboo or whatever. But too much superfluous special effects, like that whole underwater sequence in Phantom Menace. And then in, which is the second one, the arena scene, not one, not two, but 3 CGI monsters to fight. Didn't need it, too much. This is where The Force Awakens really succeeds versus the original trilogy. And that's why it's a direct heir to The Empire Strikes Back, shall we say. That's a little Timothy Zahn reference for you. I will just say on the Timothy Zahn novels, when they came out in the very early 1990s, they were the very first ones that Lucasfilm had licensed, I think, since Splinter of the Mind's Eye. And it was fantastic. It felt like Star Wars, in the same way The Force Awakens was. Those books, they were Star Wars, and it was back, and it was all of them, and it was great new locations, great new characters. Admiral Thrawn, Mara Jade, all of that. Absolutely loved them. So, we need the new trilogy to be like the first one and not like the prequels. It does seem like it is going in that direction, fortunately. I don't know what it'll be like with the new directors. We're going to have to wait until we see the first trailers. It's probably not going to be till the end of this year. Star Wars is always worth the wait. Well, it is now. It wasn't before. It was like, no, not another prequel. I saw all the Star Wars movies in the cinema. Star Wars was actually the very first film I ever saw in the cinema, and it was a hugely formative experience for me. It's like someone unscrewed the top of my head and let the universe in. You know, special editions, I went to see them, couldn't get in twice. for the first one, for Star Wars Special Ed, couldn't get in, had to see how Stella got her groove back. For Special Ed of Jedi, couldn't get in, had to watch Flubber. 2 of the worst films ever that I saw because I couldn't see Star Wars. Obviously, I saw the prequels in the cinema as well, but because of various things we've spoken to, the leaden nature of the plot, by the time I was in Revenge of the Sith, I was wanted it to be over. You know, I didn't care anymore. I just wanted it done. Closure. This is what, again, is so great about The Force Awakens. There's none of that. It's Star Wars. It's pure 100% unadulterated Star Wars, and it couldn't be more Star Wars if it tried. I hope you all feel the same. That is, of course, the general consensus. You do get the haters who are determined to pick on this, that and the other. And yes, it's got gaping plot holes, but Star Wars film doesn't. You just have to trust it, you know? And you do. It's funny, JJ was also saying, he was talking to Lawrence Kasdan just about the script. I don't know what scene this would be, but it's in The Force Awakens, and he goes, "Don't need it! Get rid of it!" I love that Lawrence Kasdan voice, it's excellent. And really throaty, it gives a lot of emotion. So yes, it's back to basics, which is only ever a good thing, really, when you're rebooting a franchise. But that was just my thoughts on what Star Wars is. A little inkling of what it means to me. Very protective. I've got dozens of the books, by the way, all the way from Heir to the Empire, Courtship of Princess Leia, Truce at Bakura, all of that lot. I'll do a separate video on that collection, I think. I haven't read them in years, and obviously now the Star Wars Legends, rather than being Expanded Universe, oh well. They're still all absolutely fantastic, like I say, especially the Timothy Zahns. That was just my quick little Star Wars chat for you about the difference between original trilogy, the prequels, and The Force Awakens. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment or a suggestion for an upcoming topic, or book, or TV show, or Star Wars related topic you'd like to talk about, and I shall do my best. Or like the video.